Hello. Um, so I have been meaning to go home to tell you guys about my trip, but it didn't work out. I've been home for about a month now from the trip, and I was trying to go home, but then work got really busy and church has been really busy, so I haven't been able to go home. So I figured the easy way to go about this is to make a video and tell you guys, because you know how much I love making videos of freestyles, so I might as well just tell you a testimony of just what God had done through my team, through us, through me, and what through the support that you gave. That was such a blessing. You have no idea. Um, I'm gonna, yeah, I'll just first off start out with just what happened with my fundraising, which is why I kind of called on Johnny to help me out. So I knew I applied for this trip through my church. The church I go to is called His House Christian Fellowship. I applied for the trip in I think November. Yeah, I think November. And then I got accepted, and everything was hunky dory. It was fantastic. And they were like, "Okay, now you got to raise $500," and I'm like, $500? I can do that. I've been on trips that are like super expensive. Like, I can do that. I got a little too cocky. I got a little too confident. Didn't ask God for help. I was just kind of like, I can do this. I'm like, I have a job that's like, I don't know, that's like 2 weeks of no, that's probably a month's worth of paychecks because it's a minimum wage job. But it was totally doable. So I went home for Thanksgiving. I went home for Christmas break. Like nothing. I didn't save any money. I didn't even try. And then trip money, like the deadlines were coming up. I think I had like, I only had $100. Like that was it. And the only reason why I had $100 was because I had to give that as a deposit to like for the trip. And so that's only reason why I had $100. I don't like this glue. So I ended up telling Johnny, and I was getting real desperate, and I was like, Johnny, I need help. Can you help me? Can you like do something, like announce it in church? And man, you guys provided, and you got me the money that I needed within like a week, and no, within like a couple days, and I got the money, and I actually had more than what I needed. And you guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There was some awesome work that was done with your support, and I'm really thankful for you guys. Not just for the money. You guys have been people in my life that have helped out a lot. Have helped raise me with my parents, whether you knew it or not. And so, alas, I'm about to tell you about my trip because I haven't been able to go home. So yes, the church that I go to is called His House Christian Fellowship. I have been so blessed to have been a part of them for the past 2 years. And man, they are so much like you guys at home at UICC. They, much like you guys had helped, pretty much helped my parents raise me for as long as I can remember, probably since I was like 7, since we started going there. This church has definitely been one that has helped me grow and has helped me grow so much in ways that I didn't think I could grow. Places that I didn't think I could grow anymore that, I felt like I was doing all right. So I'm really thankful. So I got sucked in real fast. I'm on worship team. I'm a life group leader. And so, yeah, I'm just really thankful for His house. So through His house, I went on a trip to Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And man, God was moving. God moved in crazy ways. I didn't really tell you guys much about the trip because I didn't really know too much about it. All our leaders told us was that we were going to be working with an organization called the Bezalel Arts Council of Ontario. And so we were all like, oh, that's cool. And they told us that we were working with the Bezalel Arts Council of Ontario, and pretty much what they did was that they love people and Jesus through art. And That's what we do. It was an arts trip. Pretty much what that meant was that it was a bunch of people from the worship team, dance team, arts, visual arts team, anyone who was artistic and loved Jesus and wanted to spread Jesus with art. So we did that. And pretty much when we were praying about the trip, when we were gearing up and getting stuff ready, we thought it was just gonna be art. Silly us, because God had something awesome for us waiting. So we end up leaving for Toronto. It's Saturday morning. We already have one hiccup where one of our friends had an expired passport, but God let us through, even with the scary lady at the border, because she was scary. She was freaking mean, man. We got there, took 6 hours, and we make it, and it's like 7 something. We get out of the vans, we're looking for food, and Dave, who is our leader, one of the leaders of the trip, he's the art director at their church, he goes, hey, we should probably go back to the vans, because this guy who's going to open up our housing is going to be there at 8, and we're not going to have enough time to eat, so they're like, we're not going to make it there on time, so we don't want to be late. So we end up going back to the vans, and Dave says 8 o'clock, so we're waiting, we're hungry, we're cranky, it's a bunch of, anywhere from 18 to, the oldest person was 26, 27, who's Dave. But yeah, so we're all within the age of like cranky, and we're not gonna hide it. So we didn't. We, instead of waiting until 8, we ended up waiting until 10. So that was rough because a bunch of us had to use the bathroom, and a bunch of us means me. I didn't use the bathroom when I had the chance. And we were hungry and tired of sitting in the vans. And Joe comes. And Joe is this guy. The funny thing about Joe, when we were waiting for him, we didn't know his name. We didn't know what he looked like. And we couldn't call him because of international rates. So we're getting cranky. And we're like, where is this guy? This guy shows up. And he lets us into the Salvation Army where we were parked outside of. And he starts telling us his testimony. At this point, in our minds, all we're doing is an arts trip. Man, at that moment, God showed us that we were there not just for arts. We weren't there to just hang out and play music. That's too easy. God has a more awesome plan for that. Joe's telling us his testimony, and at this point, not even our leaders know what's about to happen. Joe tells his testimony, and he talks about his organization, and it's Project 417, which comes out of Nehemiah 4:17. And pretty much what he wants to do, what his organization does, is rebuild the community. And what we learned at that moment was that we were in one of the oldest housing projects in Canada. We were in a really dangerous area. There were gang wars, bunch of drugs. There was human trafficking, all in the city, and we didn't even realize it. And at that moment, God was just like, hey, you're here for something bigger. And we were all just kind of like, ah. And this guy's testimony is crazy. Like, if you want to hear it, like, you should tell me, because this guy's cool. This guy's so cool. Like, ah. But yeah, he tells us about one of the biggest things that he focuses on is human trafficking. And for me personally, in my heart, I remember praying right before that trip. And human trafficking, if you don't know, is one of the passions that I have in my heart. God has definitely called me to that. And I remember praying before the trip. I was like, God, I know this is an arts trip, but you know that my passion is human trafficking. And I was just getting really discouraged, because I was like, God, what can I do with human trafficking? Like, what? I mean, I'm talking about it, and yeah, I love raising awareness, but like, God, I wanna do something. Like, I wanna be there. I want to not experience. Like, I want to be on the front lines. God threw me in the front lines, and I didn't even know it. But this video is nearing 10 minutes, so I'm gonna cut it, and then I'll start another one so I can keep talking. I don't want you. Yeah. Just I'll see you in the next one. All right. Okay.